Hey traders, welcome back. Today is Monday morning, November the 15th, 2021, getting ready to start our week in our live trading room once again. And it is a no news day today. We don't have any news that is pre-planned that might be potentially market moving for us today. Today is obviously a zero DTE day. We're going to be looking at doing a day trade on the primarily the SPX, but we may be looking at other indices as well. It is also a day that we are going to reinitiate our 4 DTE trades. We're going to be doing a 4 DTE today on both the SPY and the Q. And once again, we'll come back to today to initiating a credit strangle on IWM. IWM's been a little bit crazy in its movement for this last week, and we've avoided that this last week. But we've had quite a lot of good success. Well, we've had 100% success so far in our credit strangles on IWM. We're going to continue to initiate one of those again today as well. As well, in addition to all of that, we've got a Lucid Group, LCID, which is reporting earnings today. After the bell, we may look to put a trade on there as well. So it should be a busy day today. We've got a lot of other things that we are already working on inside of our portfolio that we're going to take a look at today. I do have my nat gas trade that is starting to wind down. It's got 9 days left to go in that, and it still has quite a bit of extrinsic value left in there. So that's progressing quite nicely. Our yen trade looks really solid right here. We're down to 18 days now on our yen trade. And if you look at it in the risk graph, it's just about picture perfect. We couldn't really ask for anything more in that trade. It would obviously be preferable, for me at least, if it could come down here and we could get this cash secured put assigned and take an ownership position here in a long yen position. But either way, the income off of that trade is pretty juicy. Again, put up about $5,700 and brought in almost $1,000 in premium on that trade. Again, 18 days to go. In that trade, we've got our Microsoft trade that we need to add a put leg into today. And we're going to be pretty aggressive on that put leg to try to boost the income potential for this week. With Microsoft this week, we do have a couple of issues to deal with. On the 17th, we've got the dividend. Microsoft's going ex-dividend on that date. And so we'll need to be aware of that, how that affects that. We're going to talk about that in the live trading room today. And we also need to generate a little bit extra income off of that. So we'll be working on that trade today as well on Monday. We do have the coin trade. It was probably pretty fortuitous of us to be able to, I guess, understand that we needed to roll those calls out last week. We did so. We are in a nice overall profit position now on the coin trade with all of the adjustments that we have made up to this point. We do have 11 days to go in this trade, and just kind of depending on how this trade goes, I might start taking some more of these positions off and continuing to book profits on this trade. I do have about 13,000 tied up in the trade. It's a little over position size for what I would generally like for this account size. Viacom, we've got that working as a wheel trade, and we were able to, again, get a very nice fortuitous roll in this last week where it didn't really cost us any money, but we were able to move our strike price down from 35 to 34. And that didn't hurt us at all on the income potential, but it did give us obviously a better entry point for that. So continuing to work the Viacom trade here as we go into the week. And again, expiration on Friday for that trade. We've got our corn trade. We've got our commodities trades here. A couple softs that we're working right now. We've got the corn trade. 11 days to go in that. Still haven't been able to get a put leg in on that trade. We'll look at it again today. See if we can find a risk-reward ratio that makes sense from the put side of the equation. But it would be nice to get a put leg in on that. Again, we don't really need it. It's pretty juicy ROI potential on the trade without it, but it'd be nice to have that in there. So we'll continue to work that. Our gold trade, we're also looking to get a call leg in on that today. So again, going to be a pretty busy day today. We've got Tesla looking down just a little bit once again in the pre-market. And we're a little tight on our strike prices, both on the call and the put side. I think we're a little tight on our strike prices on Tesla. And so we want to keep that one on a tight leash, although it obviously has been doing well for us so far in this iteration. We do have a little ways more to go on that to get back to the profit zone that we would desire overall for a decent ROI. But again, it does have 11 days in that. But again, pretty tight on the strike prices on that. We might have to do a little alteration there. We've got our dash trade that we rolled out, and this would be a pretty easy one here. Our Microsoft one, not so easy. Our dash trade is a pretty easy one to adjust once again here today if we need to. So that might be something that we're working on as well, is to roll just the call leg out and up a little bit. We'll see what the price action is here when we open up this morning. We've got our Crocs trade that is just, again, still hanging in there. I've got a little bit more capital allocated to that trade also than I would prefer. Got about 5,000 in that trade, but I do have two different iterations of that going on, and that's why that's the number that it is. We do have one of those iterations expiring this Friday, and it looks pretty solid right now. And so once that is taken off the books, I'll get a little bit better buying power back. I'll have a little bit better position size there, and I think that we'll be in an overall good position on our Crocs trade. We do have a wheat trade working here that we do have a full iron condor on, but it is pushing up a little bit on the call side. 11 days still to go here in that, and we'll just continue to let that work for a while. No actions there. I do have my short E-mini position that I have cash flowed once again. Trying to bring in about $1,500 a week in cash flow on that. And you can see that I've done a couple of things here on the E-mini position. There's my short position. I've got a put spread down here below. I've got the short position covered. And then I purchased a very far out of the money long call option. That cost me about $65 to purchase that. And it gave me back about $7,000 of buying power. Hence, you can see that I don't have about 13,000 or so tied up in this trade. I've just got about 6,000 tied up. So again, got a $7,000 loan essentially for a $65 interest payment for this week to continue to trade with that little maneuver there. So those are our overall positions that we have that we're going to be working on today. That's our overall action plan for today, Monday. Tuesday, we are going to be looking at 1 hour before the market opens. Retail sales numbers will be out about 15 minutes before the market opens up. We've got U.S. industrial production numbers coming out. So a couple of potential news items that could potentially move the market on Tuesday. We also have JMIA, J-M-I-A, that is reporting after the bell. And so this is also a trade that we will be looking to potentially put a position on Tuesday. So those are the focuses for Tuesday. Wednesday, we do have U.S. housing starts that are coming out an hour before the market open. We have crude oil inventory numbers coming out an hour after the market has opened. We always look to put on a crude oil trade with that number release. And then we've got Fed speak pretty much all morning long. Those are the news items that are going to be affecting us on Wednesday. On Wednesday, of course, we will have another zero DTE that we're going to be looking at, as well as an oil trade. We'll be looking at using probably the MCL this time. I don't know. We've been using options fairly successfully for the last several weeks on our weekly Wednesday oil trades, but we will be looking for doing another oil trade here on Wednesday morning. And then last but not least, on Wednesday, NVIDIA, NVDA. NVIDIA is reporting after the bell on Wednesday. Lot of potential IV in NVIDIA. You can see some pretty good premium in that right now with its current implied volatility. And that will probably ramp a little bit, I would imagine, this week as well prior to that release. So we're going to be looking at putting a NVIDIA trade on Wednesday as well. On Thursday, we've got initial jobless claims coming out 1 hour prior to the market open. We've also got our wheat, soybean, and corn sales numbers coming out 1 hour before the marketplace. Those should obviously affect a couple of our positions that we're trading here. We've got some Fed speak during the day, and then we do have nat gas numbers coming out 1 hour after the market open. And that, of course, will probably have a pretty dramatic, I would imagine, probably a pretty dramatic effect on my nat gas numbers as we tend to get closer and closer to expirations. The gamma effect on those sales numbers and supply numbers, release dates, really affects the overall movement of this. And so we'll hold on tight for that as we get prepared for that, but that is Thursday as well. In addition, on Thursday, we do have BABA, B-A-B-A, that is going to be reporting before the bell. Let's see if we can get the right ticker symbol in here. There we go. Going to be reporting before the bell. So this is a trade that we are going to probably look at initiating on Wednesday. And then looking to take it off on Thursday. So Baba will be reporting before the bell on Thursday. Friday, we have a little Fed speak going on throughout the day. And then, of course, we will have a 0 DTE day on Friday as well. Now, in addition to that, as you know, on Tuesdays and Thursdays, those are our bonus trading days. We usually like to load up quite a bit of trading ideas for you on those days to take a look at. I'm going to give you just some ticker symbols here to take a look at that we are going to be looking to work throughout the week. DDD, 3D Systems, is one that we're going to be looking at working on this week. RIDE is another ticker symbol that we're going to be looking at maybe taking advantage of this week. AZN, this is a trade that we had a great success with this last week, and we may look to come back to this well once again this week. AZN was a really good trade for us. BLNK is another ticker symbol that we're going to be looking at this week as well. RIVN. So this is a new issue, obviously. Just been trading for a few days. Rivian is obviously a competitor, I guess you could say, to Tesla, although they have no actual revenues or sales yet. But what we have been waiting for here is options. We still don't have options on this. Once we get options on this, we're going to be looking at initiating some positions on that as well. SPOT, Spotify is another one that we're going to be looking at taking some positions potentially in this week. HOOD, this is Robinhood. We're going to be looking at some trades on Robinhood depending on what we can get IV-wise, but it looks pretty good right now. BITO, this is always a good one for us. This, of course, is the ETF, the ProShares ETF that tracks the Bitcoin futures pricing. And that's been a great trading vehicle for us. And then in addition to that, DWAC is coming back into the picture. Digital World Acquisition, Trump's acquisition corporation, the media group, is looking once again like it's fairly ripe for potentially an options trade. Again, great premium in that. So we've got a lot of activity once again scheduled for the week, guys. We'll see you in the live trading room here in just a couple of hours.